Welcome everybody to the Life, Love, and Money Show. I am Summer.
Hey, and I'm Jen.
And today we're going to be talking about how to ditch the New Year's resolution and still create change in your life. We have so many tips for you today. Okay, so let's get right to it. First, ditch that New Year's resolution mindset. Ditch that thought of a New Year's resolution because really it's going to set you up for the failure zone. And we want to set you up for success. So if you want to make a change, it's about changing habits. Now, in creating those first steps. Now, we talk about habits all the time. I'm sure you've read about habits. Some say it's 21 days to change the habit. Some say it's 66 days. Well, let's go from the 21 days on up, okay? It can be 21 days to 365 days, but on average, it takes about 3 months to make this process work for you. So think about changing habits. Think about changing those now, not in the next year, not with the New Year's resolution. So start creating new habits. It may feel a little uncomfortable, but let me tell you, you want to just kind of lean into that discomfort and it'll begin to feel like, okay, I can work in this space and it feels okay. Work through that discomfort. You'll be okay. Trust me. If you have questions, bring them back to us. We want to answer your questions. Some first steps are create a realistic plan. Don't make it so outlandish and so big that it's like, man, I cannot do this. I cannot overcome this. Small steps. Baby steps, people, baby steps, okay? Create a realistic plan. For instance, if you want to shed a few pounds, a few lbs, here's what you do. All right, change the mindset to, I can do this. Shift that mindset into, right, Jen?
Absolutely.
Oh yes, my gosh.
That is huge. This is such a great tip, everybody. The mindset part, yes.
Yeah. Mindset is huge. Okay, your goals for making that change, what are they? A lot of times we're like, yeah, we're going to make change. But we don't set any goals, actual goals. We don't write them down. We don't think about them. We don't make those first steps as to how do you go about changing that goal or making that goal? What are those objectives to that goal? So set those objectives to achieving that goal. Make slow, gradual changes. They don't have to be big leaps. And if you have a misstep where you fall back, get back up. Get back up. We learn from, what do I always say, Jen, about missteps?
You're gaining wisdom, you're learning all these amazing things. It's, again, like you said, Summer, it's about mindset. It's how are we looking at those missteps in a positive light or negative?
Right, absolutely. And those missteps are gained wisdom. They're so helpful. Just get back up. You're going to be okay. Develop the steps to reaching your ultimate goals. So let's say, for instance, you want to lose a few lbs. So do 15 to 20 minutes every 3 to 4 days of walking. Every week, add 5 minutes, add a day, till you work up to 40, 45 minutes, 5 days a week. How easy is that? You can do this. It just becomes routine. It becomes something that's part of your day naturally. It's something that becomes very organic and something that you'll probably really enjoy. So, small steps, mindset, all that. If you've forgotten any of those steps, just rewind, go back, listen to them again. All right, remember, you're not on a race. This process is not somebody else's process. You want to develop your habits, your own process. This is not a competition, so stop looking at what other people are doing. This is your process. These are your goals. These are your habits that you're establishing. There are many variables that are going to be different for you than another person. So you absolutely can't really compare somebody else's process and their goals to your own. So make sure that you know this is not a race. This is not something you're comparing to somebody else's, what they're doing, if they're trying to lose weight or if they're trying to reach certain goals. These are your goals and your process. And remember, just ditch that New Year's resolution. Ditch it now. Start making change today. Jen?
I love what you said, Summer. I just want to piggyback off of what you just said.
Sure.
About making that change and not having to feel like, oh, I'm going to wait till the beginning of the year. Like, why even do that? There's nothing that said you can only start goals in January of every beginning of the year. So first, ditch that whole idea. And why not start now? Why not start today? And as Summer said, baby steps. One of the things that I love to do is try to look at the whole thing as one goal, but then reverse engineer it and then chunk it down to bite-sized pieces. Because here's the thing, and this is where I think we get derailed. We have this big goal. For example, let's say many people told us, oh, I want to write a book. I would love to write a book. Summer and I are both authors, so we've been through this process. But there are many people out there that want to write a book. But then what do? You look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, I haven't started. Oh my gosh, I have to write all these things. I don't even know. And you have this overload. And then what ends up happening? You have analysis paralysis, and then nothing happens. So take that goal, whatever it is, losing weight, writing a book, whatever it is, take that one goal and reverse engineer it. What are the ways that you can break it down into consumable pieces? What do you need to do every single day? What is it that you can do every single week? Maybe 1 week you just work on your outline, if it's the book. Maybe you start figuring out, I'm going to write 500 words a week, whatever that is. But when you put it in your calendar for every single thing that you are breaking down, you're going to feel like you're making progress. You're going to feel like you're moving the needle, so that you look up and it's March and you've actually made progress, versus you saying like, gosh, man, I haven't started yet. I haven't started. How many times have we said that? It's usually because we haven't broken it down to bite-sized pieces. So that's my tip, is that if you take your goal, break it down so that it feels like you can still make progress, because every little step of the way, whether it's a good step or a misstep, it's still making progress.
Love all these steps. If you've missed any of these steps on really how to ditch that New Year's resolution and really get started on your goals today, check out the rest of this video. All right, everybody, we want to thank you for being with us here. And if you haven't had the opportunity to subscribe now, share this page with your friends, subscribe today. Take care, everybody.